Alright everybody, so I'm going to work on the weights real quick for the eyelids. There is one thing that I don't remember. It's been a couple days since I recorded the previous videos. So there's one thing that I don't remember if I covered before, but I'm noticing in this file it's not set up. So I'm going to show you this again real quick. I may have shown it in the previous videos, but honestly, it doesn't hurt just to redo this part. So what I'm going to do is a really quick thing that can help if when you're setting up the eye joints. You do this, it can help quite a bit in terms of just being able to control the eyelids quicker and easier. You'll notice right now that if I select both the eyelid roots and rotate them, they both go in the exact same way. And you'll also notice that there's some weights that are already on them. I'll fix that in a little bit. But what I can do is something really quick and really simple to make this a little bit easier on myself. What I can do is maybe just isolate these for a second so that you guys can see them. What I'm going to do is basically flip one of the joint orientation of this so that the Z is actually pointing in the other direction. That way when I rotate the top one, it's got the same axis as this, so the positive Z is pointing this way. You can see the blue line right there. So when I rotate one of them, it will rotate one way, and when if I rotate them both the same way, basically they'll open and close at the same time. They won't go in the exact same direction like you just saw. So what I'll do is I'll just select the root joint real quick. I'll do it to the child joint as well in a second, and just work on the axes here over in the attribute editor. So what I'm going to do is just rotate the X, and you can see if I do that, it's going to start rotating along the axis I want. But since I know it's going to be an even 180 degrees, I can just punch that in for the joint orient X value, and bada bing, bada boom, it's done. So I'll turn off the isolate, and now when I rotate them, you'll see that they open and close just like you would expect them to. So I can do that over here to the right side real quick. It's obviously easier if you do it in the first place, so you don't have to do this later, but I'll flip that, and maybe I don't want to do that. I'm just noticing some weights that are a little weird, but I can fix that first on the left side and then flip the joint later. And everything should be okay. Just looks like some errant weights, but I can fix that over time. Either way, I'm only going to work on the left eyelid in this video anyway, so we should be okay. So I'll just focus on this area. It may also be beneficial to bring up the eye, just so you can see it. There is a definite plus to that, but I am going to throw these on a display layer real quick and just template them. That way I can see the outline of the eyes, but I don't want to be able to select them. They'll just be in the way. Alright, so to assign some weights, what I like to do is very similar to the eyebrows. I'll block it in first for both of the lids, and then I'll go in and add a little detail. So what I like to do first is do the upper eyelid, because that's the one that moves the most. So I'll set some keyframes and rotate it, and I'm going to assume that maybe it goes about this much. It could go more, but I won't really know until I start actually painting the weights on it. So I'll do that first. And like I said, there's some errant weights on here. You can see it's moving the eyebrow. We will fix that in just a moment. As a matter of fact, I'll do that really quick. You can see even the nose is involved in this. That's the eyeball joint. So I want the left upper lid, which is right there. Okay, and again, there's some stuff that's just kind of not supposed to be there. So I can replace with 0 real quick on those couple of spots. And check the other ones, because you can see some of the other joints around here have it too. Now obviously that weight is going to just kind of go wherever it wants at this point. I'll probably have to fix that a little later, but in these videos that's not really necessary. That's just something you kind of obviously have to do at certain points. But that should be good for now. Once I do the left side, I can mirror it over. So left upper lid, and what I'll do is I'll just start blocking it in. So I'm going to use replace a value of 1 and get in pretty tight here, and I'll change the radius just a bit and just start painting. Okay, just blocking in the main stuff, and I'll go inside real quick and just get those extra verts. And that should be enough for now, just this stuff right here. Okay. And now, when I look at it from out here, I'll just scrub back and forth, and you can see that the eyelid is now moving. And from here, I can go in and block in some other weights around it. But what I am noticing is the shape of this eyelid is, I don't want to call it concave, but I guess from this angle it kind of is. So what I can do is kind of just even this out so that it kind of comes flat. And the way I do that is I'll use the select mode of the paint weights tool. So I can click right here and get select, and it'll allow me to select some of the components. So I can go through and just start selecting the verts that I just flooded, or didn't flood them, but I'll go one row at a time. So you can see right there, it's not creating a proper shape, and even if I go to the smooth one, I mean, it's okay, you know, but I can average this out a little bit. So what I'm going to do, with those selected, I'm going to use something called the component editor, which we have used before. We used them to change the weighting on the curves earlier. So this time I'm going to go into the Smooth Skins tab, and there you'll see every one of those verts is 100% controlled. I know that because I just painted with 100%. So what I'll do is I'll just click on the name of that column. You can see that's the upper lid joint. And down here there's this little scroll bar, so I can use that and I can change how much it's being controlled. Although I'm not too happy with what I'm getting in terms of the results. Let's see. That's a little bit better. It looks like the weight is going to something that it should not be, because you can see it is drastically turning. So what I might do instead of using this, and this is not too often that I find that this doesn't work, what I might have to do is just use a different operation under paint and just add it to something else, because I'm not sure where it's going to, because I'm reducing that basically. So what I might do is just add that back to the upper jaw, and we'll see what happens. So I'll use add with a low value, you know, my 0.03, and just start flooding that in, and it's going to give me the result that I'm looking for. You can see it's lifting it up. So let's say that's good for now, and I'll go and select the next set, but now you can see it's not going down as far. So what I'll do, use that select mode and get the next couple of verts and do the same thing. So now I'll go down, and you can see I'm not too happy with that shape. So upper jaw, go back into paint mode, and just do that a couple of times. And there you can see I'm a lot happier with this shape that I'm getting, especially in the smooth mode. Okay, one more time. I'm not happy with this corner over here, so I go in. Ooh, looks like we've got some crazy verts here. So let's see. It looks like it's these two that I need to adjust. Those very corner ones that I probably shouldn't even have included, but it's okay. I can fix it. Go back to my paint mode, upper jaw, perfect. So I can do that. And that's looking pretty good right there. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is match the lower lid to it. So obviously it has nothing assigned to it at the moment, so I'm going to set some keyframes. Beginning, one at the end, and I'm just going to move it up. Maybe that's too far. We'll find out in just a minute. But now you can see they'll both move. And now I can, oops, sorry, just going to switch this back to the not so smooth preview and flood in some weights, or block in some weights, I apologize. So there's my lower lid. Replace, value of 1. Ooh, that's some interesting stuff right there. Not exactly sure why that's happening. Very, very strange. Oh, I know exactly why that's happening. That is because I did not set the this joint initially. When I set that rotation axis, that joint orient earlier, it's already skinned, so I can't really do that. So I'll set it back to 0, and we'll probably see that that goes away. Like I said, it's not necessarily important that we do that, but it can help. As long as you do it before you skin it, that's fine. So either way, not a big deal. It just prevents me from rotating them both at the same time and it working immediately. So, darn, you know. So I'll go back in and block in those weights real quick. And you can see that it's not moving anymore, at least. Let me see. And I didn't realize I'm painting on the upper lid. Nope, that's the lower lid, actually. So I'll have to... Oh, I know what I have to do. It's the keyframes are on there. So let me just redo that keyframe real quick. Oops. And let's say maybe about there. That should be good, so there. Okay. And now I can do the same thing as before. I'll use my select tool. Oops, sorry. There we go. Go back to paint, and I'm going to add this back to the upper jaw. And just add with a very low value and just hit flood a couple of times. And it's only flooding on those verts too. So now I can go back in, check the results. Getting better. Looks like I need to add in that corner there too. So I'll do that in just a minute. But first I want to perfect the other parts. Actually, the rest of it looks decent enough where it should work just fine. But I just got to go over into these couple of verts and add them in. Okay, paint mode, and there we go. However, it still looks a little strange. I think I'm going to add those ones just next to it as well. Oops, I left my paint weights tool. So I'll add these two right here. I'm just going to make them pinch a little bit. Paint. It's getting there. Looks like I might need that one little vert back there too. Let me go inside and see what I need to do here. Well, I missed one earlier, but I didn't think that was important. I don't think it's gonna fix anything, but let's try that one vertex right there. That's right in that corner of the eye. So I'll add that. And that might just be what I needed right there. Still not perfect. Okay. Well, this is what painting weights is all about, really, so. Okay. Looks like I need to fix the upper lid just a bit. Those two. Okay. Upper lid. Paint. Much nicer. Now there's a nice tight seal at the edge of the eyelids. So that is looking quite nice in smooth mode. So now, when I go back and forth, you can see he blinks. And the most important thing here is that I left the eye in there. So now you can see, when I put it back on, the eyelid is going over the eye. So that's very, very nice. Okay? And that is basically what you need to do for the eyelids, at least for blocking it in. Now, what you got to go back in and do is what we've done before. So here's the upper eyelid. Now they're both keyed, which is great. So I can go in with add and refine them. So I can go in, vert by vert, start adding that extra little bit of skin sliding that I like so much. It makes it look a lot more natural. this is exactly the same as what we've done before, you know, with the edge of the lips, and now we're just doing it to the eye. And obviously I don't want to spend too long here. I don't want to... already up to 15 minutes, I didn't even realize it. Well, that's what happens when you make mistakes live on video. Not only do your students make fun of you, but it ends up taking you a little while longer. And I'm sure you'll get a big kick out of that. Alright, so let's see what that looks like. Obviously I can spend a lot more time on this, but that should be sufficient for now. I don't need to spend a whole lot of time on this. Unless you want a 40-minute video all on me painting the weights of an eyelid, which I'm pretty sure nobody would say yes to. So, that should be good enough. Good. Okay, and then you go to the lower lid, and you're going to do the exact same thing. So, I want to add this row right here, and you just go in and refine till you're happy with the results. Okay. And that's still very rough for me. I think it needs a lot more, but good enough. Okay. So now I can go back to those joints and break connections on their rotates to get rid of the keyframes that I made. And there we go. Now, if I really wanted to sit here and, you know, fix it so that they rotate at the same time, I could remove one of the sets from the skin, but I just don't see me needing to remove the influence. There it is. I'm having trouble with my mouse. Remove influence, then I'd have to add it back in, and that's just a hassle. And, you know, for this video, yeah, I tried to do it. Oh, well, it didn't work. But either way, I've shown you guys how to paint weights for the eyelids now, at least. So, good luck with that. In the next video, we are going to actually create a duplicate of this head and start working on some blend shapes for it. So, until then.